This week on Junkyard Metal Pushers, we're going to look at what's been going on with the AC Cobra replica buck pushing the aluminum. We've got hoods, we've got fenders, we've got doors, all in the making. We've got hood scoops, we've got junk lying everywhere. Do you have a shitless English wheel? Well, if it's not strong enough, tie it into the frame of the building. It'll be really good and strong. If you don't think that your English wheel is working properly, check the level between your straightest lower wheel and not this one, the straightest. And you want to see that's an even gap all the way across. When you put pressure on it and your English wheel flexes, you're going to have an uneven gap in here, and it's going to leave a mark in your aluminum or your steel, and you don't want that. So you just get in here and you file this little area right here, take it down a little bit, check your gap out with your flattest lower wheel till you got it just perfect. Then give it a little tiny bit more so that when you put pressure on this motherfucker, it's going to give you a nice, clean, even roll and leave very little marks. Aluminum's always going to have a mark, but you don't want to mark at the outside edge. Now, polishing your wheel. Leave a scrubby pad. Aggressive at first and then go to a fine one later. Keep your wheel clean. You can soak it in a little oil. Don't use WD-40 because fucking auto body painters hate that shit. Use something else. Anything. Use like liquid wrench or anything, but get a scrubby pad, dry or with a little liquid wrench in it, and you'll keep your wheels nice and clean and free of debris, plus it polishes them so it doesn't leave marks. Eventually your wheels will get marked up, so the scrubby pad will help. You can even put one on the bottom if you want to. Now, keep all your anvils close by where you can get at them. This is the lowest, straightest wheel you can get. For the lowest wheel, lower wheel, this is the straight one. That's the one you want to use for checking your gap on your English wheel. Like I say, if you've got like a piece of shit, flimsy English wheel, tie it into the structure of your building. Just tie it right into the ceiling. Find a great big beam in your garage or whatever. If you don't have that kind of structure, posts and beams and stuff, then you're going to have to do some welding. That's all I can tell you. But this works pretty damn good. You can put a lot of pressure on that sucker before it'll lift the building. Anyway, so shrinker stretchers. Well, up here in Canada, Princess Auto don't sell the stand for the deep throat shrinker stretcher, so you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a nightmare. Anyway, this one here, I haven't even got that figured out. I had a heart attack, and now I'm just recovering from it. So anyway, doctor says I don't have cancer, so get her done, fly at her. We're building the buck, and we got ourselves quite a bit of work going on. I've gone through about 3 sheets, 4x8, like 30, what was it? A little less, 18 gauge, I think it was. Anyway, that's a little thin, but I mean, like, you know, I'm not really an expert at this shit, and I want to get through this stuff relatively easily. When I get better at doing all this kind of work, I am going to go to 16 gauge. But anyway, so we've got like rear fenders over here. I did a lot of testing on different pieces. And just a second here. Okay, so here's the makings of a rear fender. It just goes right over here like this on the car, right near the door. Anyway, I haven't got time can't do everything for you. So there's a rear fender. That's going to tie into here. Everything's rough. It's got to be cleaned up. The doors are just bent and put into place just to give me an idea. This isn't even going to be here, this piece of aluminum. It's just there to make it look shiny. Anyway, so that's going to end up being a full piece, goes underneath, and there's a radius on the bottom, so be aware of that. It's going to come up over the top, and you've got a radius this way and a slight radius tapering off to a relatively flat door. Okay, so anyhow, like I say, we're flying at her. That's it for today, and I'm going to post this, and if you got any comments, get back to me. I got some tips and tricks, and if you really want to learn, get out there and watch guys like Lazzy and whatever on the internet. And there's a few other ones. Their names don't come to mind, but they're all experts. They're really, really good. These guys are the best. So anyway, for if you're like me and you're a junkyard expert or a junkyard novice, then you want to get at it and try something new every day. Every day's learning day, just like Lazzy says. So now I'm dropping names. Time to go. Bye.